Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be going over the bunker Easter egg in Modern Warfare. Now, I know many other YouTubers have gone over this, but I have yet to find a video that actually covers literally everything that we know right now. Of course, at any point in the future, some of this information could change, but this is what we know as of now. At the time that I am recording this, data miners have actually found that this Easter egg is uncompletable, which is very unfortunate because I know a lot of people have put time into figuring this all out, and I've put quite a few hours of time. But although it is uncompletable right now, that does not mean that it's going to stay that way forever. Furthermore, any information I am sharing from here on out could come in handy in the future when this Easter egg is activated. So a few things that we have found in the files is that there are 24 interactive keypads. 12 of them are linked to the bunkers, and 12 we're unsure of what they're linked to. Then we have 28 phones, 16 computers, and 6 radios. Now, we have no idea how these are linked to the bunkers whatsoever, but those are all in the files. One of the reasons that we know that this Easter egg is uncompletable right now is because there is code that states computer_deny, phone_deny, and radio_deny. And there is no coding for a approved or a positive message as of yet. That code could have been removed, or it's being saved for a later limited time mode. Now, also in the code, we have found strings or triggers for nukes that state the following messages. There are 10-minute warnings, 5-minute warnings, and a nuclear warhead inbound warning that states, "Someone armed a nuke, get to the helipad and get the hell out of here before it blows." Now, this could all mean that this is linked to some kind of limited time mode or a special event, kind of like Fortnite, that once we figure all this out, once this Easter egg is activated, that this could be a map changing event. As of right now, we really don't know. Although that would be really cool if we're the ones that activated each thing, causing the event, and maybe they're just not ready for it. Now we're jumping into everything that we know outside of the code. The Warzone map is split into 5 different sectors: north, west, southwest, central and south, and then last but not least, east. Each sector has its own vaults. Whether that has a connection or not, we're really not sure at this point. But there are a total of 12 vaults from 0 to 11 spread across the map. The first bunker is going to be at the very bottom left edge of the map in D8. And this is going to be at the very edge of the map too. For bunker 01, this is also going to be at the very bottom left of the map to the left of Boneyard. This vault actually has a section that has loot in it, which is really cool that you can go and get. Now, Vault 2 and 3 are actually in the same location, and that's going to be past Boneyard over to the left-hand side. And both of these also have loot. Vault number 4 is going to be below the dam in D2. Vault number 5 is going to be south of the military base in E3. Vault 6 is going to be east of Quarry in H3. And then Vault 7 and 8 are kind of like 2 and 3, where they're right next to each other, and they both also have loot, and that's going to be on the northeast side of Stadium. I'm sure many of you guys have seen this before. I actually went over there and I didn't know that they were considered vaults. If you go into them, you can go all the way to the bottom, and at the very end is actually what we're looking at, and that's the vaulted off section, or the blocked off section. Vault number 9 is going to be right next to the prison, connected to that rocky hill. Vault 10 is going to be south of Park, on the very edge of the map, and this also has loot. Last but not least, bunker number 11 is going to be north of the military base in E1. If we're not really looking at the code, at first glance, it would seem like the bunkers have really nothing to do with anything, that it could just be all cosmetic purposes. But after a lot of research, we, meaning the community, have found out that this is definitely not the case. Modern Warfare actually has its own tagged map on its website where we can search around on. Each one of these locations on that map is considered classified, and if this was all just cosmetic purposes, I have a good feeling it would not be on there, especially under classified. There are 11 classified locations on this TAC map As you can see, here's one, here's one, here's one. There's a bunch just in this blue section. There are many classified locations, 11 like I said. What is cool is something that the community has found out. You can head over to inspect element and go into the map zone content and just keep putting this down. And then you can see the map POI stats unknown. We can take the unknown out of this, and then the stats will end up actually popping up, which is really cool. Now for each one of these locations, we can actually head over to the loot bar and see that it's quite literally off the charts. So there must be something pretty great behind there. And it makes sense that if there's loot, then sometime in the future, we are meant to get into there. Now, unfortunately, there's no way to take the redacted text out. That is just text that they haven't hidden anything under. But overall, I would say it's all pretty cool. Now, Bunker 9 is actually showed under 5C, which is a little weird. We have to head all the way down to the pasture hatch. And it states, in the shadow of a tree, among some rocky ground, in a pasture and a small set of stone, foundation blocks, a small generator, and a locked trap door. This hatch leads to redacted, which is talking about hatch 9. Now, weirdly enough, Bunker 4 is not mentioned anywhere on the website. I would say that this is definitely not a coincidence, although we do not know at this time. Now, each bunker also has a keypad link to it. All that are interactable except Bunker 11, which again I would say is not a coincidence. It's also the only bunker that is positioned kind of far away than all the other ones. Quite literally an outcast. Now if you zoom in on the keypads, you can actually see text that states S-IB network. Now if we do a little research and Google this, we can go to this wiki page, just scroll down a little bit, and this is actually a control panel. And this was salvaged from one of the Kennedy Space Center's Launch Control Center firing rooms after completion of the Apollo something test project in 1975. Now we're seeing stuff about nukes in the codes, and now this. Now I also have another website here that I saved the link to. I can definitely put it down in the description that goes over more about this panel. Now that website actually goes into how that rocket was launched, which very much corresponds to everything that is talked about in the code. There is absolutely no way that's a coincidence that they just randomly threw that on there just because. Now, I also have another map here that I will leave down in the description that was made by Map Genie over here. And this is pretty cluttered. I'm going to unclutter everything. As far as I know of, this hasn't been updated in the past few days when we have found a lot more phones and computers, but overall this is pretty cool to look to. As you can see, there's those computers, the phones, the bunkers scattered around the map, and these are all interactable. And there's only certain computers around the map and certain phones around the map that are interactable, which we're thinking at this point probably corresponds to each other in some way or another. So although that we're not too sure how the phones and computers are linked to the bunkers, it only makes sense that it would be all linked in some kind of way. Whether that be another limited time mode, we're just not sure at this point. But maybe once the code is activated, we'll have to press the computers in some kind of order, or press the computers, the phones, and the bunkers in some kind of order, or the coordinates correspond in some kind of way to the bunkers that we need to know. Again, at this time, we're just unsure. Now, someone in the Call of Duty community actually found out how to get into these bunkers with a drone. Now, as you can see, there's nothing behind these bunkers. They do have that first little section that has the light fixtures, but after that point, there's literally nothing. Now, I would say that there's two different reasons why this is not there. One, because this section of the map has not been triggered to load in. Maybe we have to complete some kind of sequence to load the sections of the map in, kind of like zombie Easter eggs. In zombies, they take out sections of the map that only have to do with the Easter eggs and load that in once you do a certain sequence. Due to how big the game actually is, this is to keep everything down to a minimum, and the less that they have to load in, the better. This also can prevent glitching, and this could also be preventing people like this guy that figured out how to get a drone into there figuring out what's behind it. Or it could simply just not exist yet. There's a lot of questions and a lot of stuff we just do not know at this time, but I'm super excited for the future when it comes to these bunkers. Let me know what you guys figure out. Make sure to update me on all this. I really enjoy figuring all this out, finding all this out, reading all this. It's been a blast. But anyways, that's all that we know of so far. I hope that I covered everything. There's just a lot. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I will see y'all in the next one.